Say yes. Say yes right now!
Rain hit my face as Brooke grabbed my coat. Say yes, she whispered. Say yes right now. Her fingers were cold, digging into the fabric like she was afraid I would vanish if she let go. Brooke, I said. What are you talking about? Not here. She glanced over her shoulder. Anywhere but here. A car passed, water spraying the curb. Neon lights shook in the puddles. Her hair was damp, clinging to her cheek. Her lipstick was slightly smudged, like she had wiped her mouth too hard. Look at me, I said. She did, but her eyes would not settle. They kept flicking past my shoulder, to the street, to the dark mouth of the alley. Run away with me, she said again. Tonight. New city. New names. We can book the first train out. I already checked. I laughed once, sharp and wrong. You checked? Yes. When? Days ago. That made my chest tighten. You planned this, I said. Her grip tightened. I had to. Why? She opened her mouth. Closed it. Rain slid down her lashes. Brooke, I said quietly. Why are your hands shaking? She swallowed. Because if we do not leave now, he will find me. The word hung there. He, I repeated. She nodded. My pulse thudded in my ears. I had spent months on that word. Files. Records. Quiet questions asked in darker rooms. Your uncle, I said. Her breath stuttered. Do not say his name out loud. Why? She looked at me then. Really looked at me. There was no romance in her eyes now. Only fear. He does not like losing people, she said. He thinks he owns me. A siren wailed somewhere down the block. Not close. Not far enough either. Brooke flinched hard, like it had gone off inside her head. That is the police, she said. Or an ambulance, I replied. You do not understand. I understand more than you think. Her eyes narrowed slightly. What does that mean? I stepped closer, lowering my voice. You cannot just ask me to disappear with you without telling me what you are running from. She shook her head. I am not ready. Then why tonight? She pressed her forehead into my chest. I felt her exhale, shaky and warm, through my soaked shirt. Because he knows about you, she said. That landed harder than the rain. Knows what about me? I asked. She pulled back just enough to look up at me. Her fingers slid from gripping to holding, like she was bracing herself. That you make me feel like I can breathe, she said. And he hates that. Another siren. Closer this time. Or maybe my nerves were playing tricks on me. I lifted my hand, brushed my thumb along her jaw. She leaned into it without thinking, then froze, like she had remembered she was not allowed to need anyone. Brooke, I said. There is something you need to know. Her breath caught. Do not say it. I have been looking into him. Her eyes widened. Stop. For months. You promised me you were not like that. I promised I would not lie to you. She pulled away fully now. Rain ran down between us. What do you know? She asked. I met her gaze. No more sheltering her. No more pretending this was just a love story that appeared out of nowhere. I know exactly why you are afraid of your uncle, I said. Say it, I said. Brooke's coffee cup rattled against the saucer. She did not drink. She checked the window to our left, then the one behind me. Lower your voice, she said. There is no one listening. You do not know that. Then tell me why you ran last night. Her jaw tightened. The cafe smelled like burnt espresso and wet coats. Someone laughed too loud near the counter. Brooke flinched. My uncle, she said. I waited. She swallowed. Victor. The name hit the table like a dropped glass. Victor Hale, she whispered. I nodded, slow, like this was the first time I had heard it. He raised me, she said. After my parents died. He paid for my school. My apartment. Everything. Everything comes with strings, I said. She gave a humorless smile. You sound like him. I leaned back. Tell me what that means. He decides things for me, she said. Where I work. Who I meet. What is safe. What is not. And leaving, I said, is not safe. Her eyes lifted to mine. He will never let me go quietly. My phone buzzed against my thigh. Once. Then again. I did not look. He is a respected man, she went on. Awards. Charities. Buildings with his name on them. And at home? I asked. She shook her head. Not at home. She finally took a sip of coffee. Her hand was still shaking. When did it start feeling wrong? I asked. She stared into the cup. When I realized I was afraid to disappoint him more than I was afraid to lose myself. That pulled something tight in my chest. Brooke, I said softly. She leaned across the table, pressing her knee against mine. Her voice dropped. He watches everything, she said. My phone. My bank account. He even asks who I have dinner with. And me? I said. Yes. My phone buzzed again. She reached out, resting her fingers over my wrist. A simple touch. Heavy with need. Please, she said. Do not push me to say more. I just need you with me. I looked down at her hand. At the faint scar on her knuckle. At the way her thumb brushed my skin like she was reminding herself I was real. I am here, I said. She let out a breath. Then hold me. I slid closer. She tucked herself into my side, head against my shoulder. I could feel her heart racing through her coat. This is dangerous, she murmured. For you? I asked. Or for him? She went still. What do you mean? Nothing, I said quickly. I am thinking out loud. Her grip tightened. Do not underestimate him. He knows when something shifts. My phone vibrated again. Insistent now. She pulled back. Who keeps texting you? Work, I said. Right now. Yes. She searched my face, then nodded, like she was choosing trust because she had no energy left to choose anything else. I want a life that is mine, she said. Without asking permission. I met her eyes. And if the cost is high? She did not hesitate. I will pay it. My phone buzzed again. I looked down before I could stop myself. Miles Carter. One message. No greeting. Victor Hale knows about you. Smile, Brooke whispered as the waiter poured water. Please. I am smiling, I said. She glanced at my face. Try harder. Across the table, Victor Hale folded his napkin with slow precision. Crystal light reflected off the glassware, sharp enough to hurt my eyes. The room hummed with low voices and clinking silverware. Money lived here. It breathed easily. So, Victor said, looking at me at last. Aaron. I met his gaze. Calm. Polite. Yes, sir. He smiled. Not warmly. You prefer, sir? I prefer respect, I replied. Brooke's knee pressed into mine under the table. A warning. Victor nodded. Good answer. The waiter left. Victor did not look at Brooke once. What line of work did you say you were in? He asked. Finance. Broad, he said. Be specific. Analysis. Risk assessment. For whom? For firms that like to know where they might bleed. Victor chuckled. Honest. Brooke reached for her wine. Her hand shook. I covered it with mine. She did not pull away. And before that, Victor asked. Where were you trained? I felt it then. The shift. This was not dinner. This was an interview. I worked at a mid-size firm in Chicago, I said. North Shore Consulting. Victor's fork paused halfway to his mouth. Brooke's fingers dug into my knee. North Shore, Victor repeated. Interesting place. You know it, I said. I did, he replied. Past tense. Silence stretched. The chandelier above us glittered, cruel and bright. Why did you leave? He asked. It collapsed, I said. Collapsed, he echoed. How unfortunate. Brooke leaned closer. Uncle, maybe we should talk about something lighter. Victor waved her off without looking at her. I am learning about the man you want to run away with. Her breath caught. I am not running, she said quickly. We are just dating. Victor finally turned his eyes to her. Cold. Measuring. Dating is rarely just that, he said. Then he looked back at me. Your family. What do they do? My jaw tightened. They did business. Past tense again. Yes. Victor smiled thinly. You speak like a man who learned early that stability is an illusion. I learned that power decides what survives, I said. Brooke squeezed my knee harder. Please, her touch said. Stop. Victor set his fork down carefully. You are not wrong. The food arrived. Plates too pretty to touch. No one ate. You seem comfortable here, Victor said. Around people like us. I grew up around people who pretended to be, I replied. Brooke inhaled sharply. Victor laughed. A short sound. Careful. With what? I asked. With revealing yourself too quickly. I met his gaze. Likewise. He studied me for a long moment. Then he leaned back. I like you, he said. You are not what I expected. Brooke let out a breath she had been holding. What did you expect? I asked. Someone easier to read, Victor replied. You are not here by accident. My pulse kicked. Neither are you. Another pause. Then Victor smiled again, wider this time. Finish your meal, he said. I have an early morning. So do I replied. Excellent, he said, standing. Come by my office tomorrow. Just you. Brooke looked up at him. Why? Victor adjusted his jacket. I want to continue this conversation. He looked at me. Alone. I nodded. I will be there. His smile faded as he walked away. Brooke turned to me, eyes wide with fear. What did you just agree to? She whispered. I watched Victor disappear into the glittering crowd. A test, I said. And I do not think I can afford to fail. I cannot sleep, Brooke whispered. I stared at the ceiling. Light from the city slid through the blinds, pale and restless. Me neither, I said. She shifted closer, her knee fitting between mine like it had always belonged there. Her hair brushed my jaw. I felt her exhale, slow and careful. Do you ever think about disappearing? She asked. All the time. Her fingers traced the edge of my shirt. I keep imagining it. A different name. Somewhere no one knows my face. Who would you be? I asked. She smiled into my chest. Someone lighter. I wrapped my arm around her. She melted into it instantly, like she had been waiting for permission. We could go north, she said. Or overseas. Somewhere quiet. Quiet never lasts, I replied. She lifted her head. You think I am naive. I think you are tired. Her eyes searched mine. The city hummed below us, distant horns, a siren far away. He will never stop, she said. Even if I leave. I swallowed. Brooke. She pressed her palm flat against my chest. Promise me something. What? That you will not leave me alone with him. The words hit harder than she knew. I will protect you, I said. She held my gaze. You believe that? Yes. She nodded slowly, like she was choosing to trust the sound of my voice over the evidence of her life. I wish I had met you before all of this, she said. I forced a smile. You met me when you needed to. Her lips curved faintly. She rested her forehead against mine. The closeness felt dangerous. Necessary. Stay, she whispered. I am here. She curled into me, smaller now. Within minutes, her breathing evened out. Sleep claimed her gently, like she had surrendered to it. I stayed still, counting her breaths. When I was sure she was asleep, I reached for my phone. The screen glowed too bright in the dark. Files. Dates. Transactions. Names buried under shell companies. One collapse after another. A firm erased. My father's name buried in the footnotes. Victor Hale. I scrolled until my jaw ached. A hand moved against my chest. Aaron, Brooke murmured. I locked the screen instantly. Hey, I whispered. She did not open her eyes. Her fingers curled into my shirt. Do not disappear, she said softly. I will not. She sighed, drifting back under. I kissed her hair. The scent of her shampoo filled my head. Clean. Familiar. Nothing like the rot hiding behind her uncle's empire. My phone vibrated. Once. I ignored it. It vibrated again. Careful not to wake her, I shifted just enough to look. Unknown number. One message. Victor wants you on board. I stared at the words until they blurred. Behind me, Brooke slept peacefully, trusting me with a future I was not sure I had the right to offer. I set the phone face down. And wondered how much longer the truth would let us pretend. Sit, Victor said. I did not move. He smiled and gestured to the chair across his desk. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the city behind him, gray and obedient. His office smelled like leather and polish. Power always had a scent. You came, he said. That matters. I was invited, I replied. By me. He tapped a folder on the desk. That matters more. Saturday. He opened the folder and slid it toward me. Numbers. Titles. Benefits. A salary that made my stomach tighten. You want me to work for you, I said. I want you close, Victor replied. There is a difference. For what reason? He leaned back. Loyalty. I met his eyes. That is earned. He smiled faintly. So is trust. I am offering both. I flipped through the pages. Everything was ready. Too ready. You did your homework, I said. I always do. And Brooke, I said. Is she part of this package? His expression did not change. My niece is emotional. Easily influenced. She attaches to ideas. People. My jaw tightened. You mean me? I mean anyone, he said smoothly. She needs stability. She needs freedom, I said. Victor folded his hands. Those words are often confused. I closed the folder. I am not signing today. The temperature in the room shifted. His smile thinned. Why? Because this feels less like an offer and more like a test. Everything is a test, he replied. You of all people should understand that. I looked at him. What does that mean? He stood and walked to the window. The city reflected in the glass like a fractured map. Your father understood tests, Victor said casually. He failed one. My blood went cold. You should be careful, I said. That is not a name you should use lightly. Victor turned. Why? Does it still hurt? I stood. You know exactly what happened to him. Yes, Victor said. I do. You destroyed his firm, I said. With a deal that never should have existed. Victor tilted his head. Business is rarely fair. He signed. I benefited. He lost everything, I said. Including himself. Victor shrugged. Weak men often confuse loss with injustice. I clenched my fists. You think this is over? I think you are here, he said. In my office. Considering my offer. I am here because I care about Brooke. And she is here, he replied, because I raised her. Silence pressed between us. You think you can use her to control me, I said. Victor stepped closer. I think you underestimate how much you already want what I am offering. I shook my head. You picked the wrong man. He smiled again. This time there was no warmth at all. No, he said. I picked the perfect one. He leaned in, lowering his voice. You are not an accident, he continued. Your presence in her life. Your timing. Your access. My pulse hammered. You did not find Brooke, Victor said. You were allowed to. I stared at him. Allowed. He met my gaze without blinking. You are here, Victor said softly, because I allowed it. Did you mean it? Brooke's voice echoed off concrete. The parking garage smelled like oil and rain. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, too bright, too exposed. Mean what? I asked. She stepped out from behind a pillar. Her arms were crossed tight against her chest. What you said to him, she replied. About loyalty. About staying close. My stomach dropped. How much did you hear? Enough, she said. Not everything. Just enough to make me feel stupid. I took a step toward her. She took one back. Do not, she said. Not yet. I stopped. Are you using me, she asked. To get to my uncle. The words hit harder than anything Victor had said. No, I replied immediately. She studied my face. You answered too fast. I am not using you, I said again. I care about you. That is not what I asked. I swallowed. Both things can be true. Her eyes filled. She blinked, refusing to let the tears fall. He warned me about you, she said. My jaw tightened. What did he say? That you are ambitious, she replied. That you attach yourself to opportunity. That is rich, I said. That you like proximity to power, she continued. That men like you always have a reason. I shook my head. He is manipulating you. Maybe, she said. But he knows things about you. Things I do not. I stepped closer. Ask me. She hesitated. Why were you really at his office? To protect you. That sounds rehearsed. It is the truth. She laughed quietly. You say that like truth is flexible. I reached for her hand. She pulled it away. Do you know how humiliating it feels, she said, to realize the two most important men in my life might be playing a game around me? I exhaled slowly. Brooke, look at me. She did not. I never planned to feel this, I said. You were not supposed to matter to me this much. She finally looked up. Supposed. The word cracked between us. You planned something, she said. Did you not? I shook my head. Not like that. Silence stretched. A car door slammed somewhere above us. Tell me one thing, she said. Just one. Is anything about us real? I took another step forward. This time she stayed. Yes, I said. That part is real. Her lip trembled. Then why do I feel like I am standing in the middle of a lie? Because you are, I thought. Out loud, I said, because Victor knows how to poison trust. She wiped at her cheek. A tear escaped anyway. He said you would leave when things got complicated, she said. That you would choose yourself. I shook my head. I am still here. But I do not know who you are, she replied. Not really. Her voice dropped to a whisper. And that scares me more than him. She took another step back. The distance felt enormous. If you do not tell me the truth, she said, he will. And I know whose version he wants me to believe. I opened my mouth. Closed it. Her shoulders squared. Her eyes hardened through the tears. Tell me who you really are, she said. Give me your phone, Brooke said. Her voice did not shake. Her hands did. We were sitting on the edge of my couch. The room was dim. City light pressed against the windows like it wanted in. Brooke, I said. Once you see this, you cannot unsee it. Then stop protecting me, she replied. And let me decide. I unlocked my phone and handed it over. She scrolled in silence at first. Pages of numbers. Company names that sounded charitable. Too clean. Too polished. These are just businesses, she said. Look closer, I replied. She zoomed in. Her breath changed. Shells, I said. They pass money through each other. Nothing lands where it should. Her finger froze. This foundation. I volunteered here. I know. She looked at me sharply. You knew. Yes. She kept scrolling faster now. Panic crept into her eyes. These donations, she said. They do not match the public filings. No, I said. They never did. She shook her head. This does not prove anything. I leaned forward. Go to the last file. She opened it. The room felt suddenly smaller. Her lips parted. This is a contract. It is the one that ended my father, I said. She read the names. Dates. Then she stopped breathing. No, she whispered. I waited. She zoomed in again. Her finger traced the signature at the bottom of the page. That is his handwriting, she said. I know it. Tears welled instantly. Not falling yet. Just waiting. He told me this deal saved people, she said. He said it kept companies alive. It destroyed mine, I replied. And the fallout took my father with it. She looked up at me, eyes glassy. You came into my life because of this. Yes. Not anger. Fear broke across her face. So every moment, she said slowly. Every date. Every conversation. I did not plan to fall for you, I said. That was the part one did not control. She stood abruptly and backed away. You should have told me, she said. I wanted you safe. She laughed once, sharp and hollow. Safe from the truth. She looked back at the screen. More names. More connections. He built everything I know on this, she said. My home. My education. And control, I said. She hugged herself. If I leave him now. He will notice, I said. Her eyes flicked to the door. To the window. To the dark reflection of us both. He does not let go, she said quietly. No. She lowered herself back onto the couch, like her legs had given out. So you did not choose me first, she said. You chose justice. I chose answers, I replied. You became the reason I could not walk away. Her voice cracked. That is worse. I stood and knelt in front of her. Brooke, I said. I will not let him hurt you. She looked at me like she finally saw the full shape of the danger. You do not understand, she whispered. You think this is about exposure. She grabbed my wrist, nails digging in. He will not ruin you in public, she said. He will erase you quietly. My phone buzzed on the table. Neither of us looked. Her grip tightened. Her voice dropped to a tremor. He will kill you for this. Sit, Victor said. Brooke did not want to. I felt it in the way her fingers tightened around mine. We stood in front of his desk, the room quiet except for the low hum of the building. You invited us, I said. Say what you want to say. Victor smiled. Calm. Patient. You are still holding his hand, he said to Brooke. That is interesting. She did not let go. Why are we here? He leaned back in his chair. Because you deserve clarity. Both of you. My chest tightened. This is a mistake. No, Victor replied. This is the reveal. Brooke looked between us. Reveal what? Victor folded his hands. You did not meet by chance. Her brow furrowed. What does that mean? I noticed Aaron long before you did, Victor said. A young man with a very specific wound. A father ruined by a deal he never understood. Brooke shook her head. Stop. I needed to know how close he would get, Victor continued. What he would risk. My jaw clenched. You used her. Victor raised an eyebrow. I positioned her. Brooke pulled her hand from mine slowly. Positioned. You encouraged me to date him, she said. You told me to live a little. To meet someone outside my circle. Victor nodded. I did. Her breath hitched. You knew. I knew he would not be able to stay away, Victor said, looking at me. And you were perfect leverage. Brooke staggered back like he had struck her. No, she whispered. You said leaving was my idea. Victor smiled. It was. After I planted it. She laughed softly. Broken. So the trains. The names. Running away. Were suggestions, he said. You filled in the romance. She looked at me now. Her eyes searched my face like they were trying to separate memory from lie. So every moment, she said, was part of his plan. No, I said immediately. Not for me. But you stayed, she replied. Knowing why you were there. Yes, I said. Because you stopped being a reason and became everything. Victor stood. Beautiful. Truly. I stepped in front of her. You will not touch her again. Victor laughed. I do not need to. Brooke slid down into the chair, covering her mouth. Her shoulders shook. I thought I was choosing you, she said quietly. I thought I was brave. You were, I said. You still are. Victor walked around the desk. I could end this now, he said. Police. Charges. Accidents. Brooke looked up sharply. But I will not, he continued. I want to see how this ends. With what? I asked. Betrayal, Victor said. Someone always chooses survival. He stepped aside. You are free to go. Both of you. Brooke stood slowly. She did not look at Victor. She did not look at me either. In the elevator, she stared at the numbers as they descended. I need air, she said when the doors opened. I will come with you, I said. She shook her head. Not tonight. Outside, she finally looked at me. Her eyes were hollow. Exhausted. I do not know what was real, she said. And I cannot sleep next to that. She stepped back. I will call you, she said. If I decide I still can. She turned and walked into the street alone. She did not come home that night. Where is she? Victor did not look up from his desk. Sit. I asked you a question. She is safe, he said calmly. For now. My hands curled into fists. You brought me here to threaten her. I brought you here to offer clarity, Victor replied. Men like you appreciate clean terms. I stayed standing. Say them. He slid a document across the desk. You walk away. You forget what you think you know. You stop chasing ghosts. And Brooke, I said. She keeps her life, he replied. Her home. Her name. Her safety. I laughed once. And if I do not? Victor finally looked at me. Then she learns how heavy consequences can be. The door behind me opened. I already know. Brooke stepped inside. She looked different. Calm. Composed. Too composed. Her coat was buttoned to her throat. Her hair was neat. Her eyes were steady. Brooke, I said. Where have you been? Thinking, she replied. Victor stood. You should not be here. Yes, she said. I should. She walked to the desk and picked up the document. So this is the deal, she said. His silence for my safety. Victor smiled. It is generous. She looked at me then. Her gaze softened for a split second. Enough to hurt. He thinks this is about him choosing, she said. But it never was. I stepped forward. Brooke, we can leave. Right now. She shook her head. Running was his idea. Staying is mine. Victor frowned. You are emotional. This is not your decision. She placed the document down carefully. You taught me everything was strategic. I finally listened. Victor's voice hardened. You are making a mistake. No, she said. I am ending one. She turned to me. You came into my life chasing truth. I stayed because I wanted it too. My chest tightened. What are you saying? I already sent the files, she replied. To people you cannot reach. Victor's face drained of color. You would not. I did, she said. From a phone you did not know I had. He slammed his hand on the desk. You think this protects you? I think it makes me free, she replied. I stared at her. You did this knowing what he might do. She met my eyes. I did it knowing what I become if I do not. Victor stepped toward her. You are nothing without me. She did not flinch. Then you should be terrified. A distant sound cut through the room. Sirens. One. Then another. Victor froze. What did you do? Brooke exhaled slowly. I chose. The sirens grew louder, surrounding the building, closing in. Victor looked at me with something close to disbelief. You will regret this, he said. I reached for Brooke's hand. This time she held on. Outside, red and blue lights flashed against the windows. And for the first time since I met her, Brooke did not look like she wanted to run. The station smelled like wet metal and diesel. Dawn was gray and soft, brushing against the edges of the platform. Brooke sat beside me, knees drawn up, coat wrapped tight. The city behind us was quiet, holding its breath. Do you still want to leave? She asked. Her voice was low, careful, like she was testing me. I looked at her. Really looked. The lines of worry around her eyes, the way her fingers drummed against her knee. No, I said. Not like we thought. Her gaze lifted. Not leave. Not escape. Not run. We've done enough of that. My hand hovered near hers. She didn't move away. The train approached with a low rumble, light flashing across her face. It was beautiful and terrifying. She exhaled. I thought I wanted a clean slate. Somewhere no one could touch us. And now? I asked. Now, she said, I want a life worth holding on to. Even if it is messy. Her fingers brushed mine, tentative. I reached for her hand, holding it. Stronger this time. Solid. Messy can be ours, I said. But it has to be real. No secrets. She smiled faintly. A sunrise in her eyes. No secrets. The city around us was waking. Sirens from last night faded, leaving only quiet, the hum of distant cars, the rhythmic clack of the train on the tracks. I never expected this, I admitted. To survive, to see it end without losing you. Her head tilted toward mine. You could have. And I almost did, I said. Almost let him win. But you? I squeezed her hand. You kept me honest, kept me here. Her other hand found mine. Fingers laced with mine, warm and steady. I felt the pulse of her certainty against the chaos we had walked through. So what now? She asked. Do we run? Or stay? I stay, I said. I stay for this. For you. For us. If you want the same. I do, she said softly. But not because we are escaping. Because we are choosing. The train doors hissed as it slowed to a stop. The lights glinted off her hair, her coat, the platform rails. The world was moving around us. I glanced at her. Are we ready? I asked. She gave a small nod. Ready for the life we build, even if it falls apart sometimes. The doors opened. Steam spilled onto the platform. I let her fingers tighten around mine. Then we step in together, I said. She squeezed back. The train waited. The city waited. And for the first time, I realized the life she still wants is not about escape, or secrets, or fear. It's about rebuilding. Together or apart, we choose it ourselves. I took a deep breath, feeling the rhythm of her heartbeat match mine. And the doors slid open.